Hello and welcome to Stephen University. This week we are discussing Rising Tides, Crashing Skies. It's a Ronaldo episode! Yay!
Let me tell you, Dan. And if anyone's going to get upset about this, we are doing a bomb. I've accepted a long time ago that because one of the conceits, to as people know, I don't watch a lot of animated shows, and this is a big commitment, this podcast. And one of the conceits Dan used to get me on board to do it was but episodes will be short, so we can do them anytime because they'll only be between 10 and 15 minutes. Now that went out the window a long time ago, and episodes are now 20 to 30 minutes, right? And I've never moaned about that, have I, Dan?
No, you've been very good.
I've accepted it. I've stuck to it. We've accepted it. Not an issue. We ain't spending more than 20 minutes talking about this shite. We have another podcast to do. Dan's not got much time with his girlfriend. I'm not doing it. 20 minutes? I don't care. You could be making the most interested point in the world, Dan. I'm turning my mic off at 20 minutes. And we ain't discussing this bizarre... What is the point of the bomb if you're going to fill... Right, okay. Because I thought we were still watching webisodes, man, with this episode. It would have been better as a webisode. And I know what you're going to say. I'll explain. Yes, Dan, I'll get to the explanation. But I just know you... Well, don't you find it interesting, Chris, to see it from the other point of view and have the realization that, you know, the gems, they are fighting this crime, but they've caused this crime as well. Like, no, not through the eyes of Ronaldo. So what happens? That was my you impression. What did you think?
8 out of 10.
Comment below.
8 out of 10. Very good. If we had visuals on this podcast, you'd see me holding up my number 8 right now.
So the plot is it is a documentary made by Ronaldo. All the fans were asking for it. And it's him looking at Beach City, why it's weird, and it's weird because anyway, because he didn't seem now he believes that it's the crystal gems, and he's doing a documentary about it. And I will admit there's the odd funny joke. The bit of the dude crying with the store was quite funny. And I will admit, as someone who has defended, bizarrely, I can't remember what it's called, the Nikki and Paolo episode of Lost. The expose. Dan and I have both defended that episode because it's quite cool to get a look at events from another point of view that can be quite interesting. It's got that too. So you see events that we've seen, such as the hand coming down from Ronaldo's point of view. Then he confronts the gems. They decide to leave. And then he realizes that he'll have nothing to blog about. So he begs them to stay, and they decide to stay. Turns out Garnet just wanted him to get out of the way, which is a shame, because at first I thought she was saying okay because she had foresight and could see that Ronaldo would end up regretting it. But no, she was just being sassy, which is fine. Don't mind a bit of sass. And then Stephen likes the documentary on the Steven Universe version of YouTube.
Yeah, it's called Tube.
My problem is, ultimately it's pointless. As much as Ronaldo realizes something, he's not realized anything that's going to change his character going forward. And he's just a bit irritating, and it's okay. It's not as bad. Like, I'm partly ranting just for the sake of ranting, but it ain't really worth your time. And although it literally would have been better suited as a web series, it's not. It's not engaging enough based on those few good things. To justify, and it's upsetting because I just thought the bombs would all be like bomb 1, and you say future bombs are, and that's great, but just the momentum of like it's a bomb, like just
Yeah.
You're gonna,
can I address that first? And for those of you listening, this is now Dan talking. This is not Chris's impression of Dan. I'm worried now that no one's going to know the difference anymore. Because it was, so good. 8 out of 10. I've sent you an image, Chris. I don't know if you're looking at it.
Yeah.
I'll
look at it
and it's the promo image that was put up on one of the members of the production team's Twitter leading up to the bomb. And it says, Steven Universe, it's true, we're having another Steven bomb, June 15th to June 19th. And then it's little pictures and dates. So it's Connie is pictured on the 15th, which is obviously the Monday. Ronaldo on the 16th, Tuesday. And then onwards with Garnet, Greg, and then a big question mark. Now, obviously this represents the episodes we just seen, because last week we saw last episode we saw a Connie one yesterday. And now here we are on the Ronaldo one. And then you'll notice at the bottom it says, every night at 6 p.m, we totally planned this. I have a feeling that the second Steven bomb was not designed that way at all. And therefore suffers a little bit. And I would have shown you this on the Connie one, but I didn't want to tip off that it was a Ronaldo episode, because I don't think you'd have... Oh, God, if you didn't known it was coming, even worse. But
yeah.
I
literally flitted between the episode and a WhatsApp conversation, and only 20 seconds into the episode, I contemplated not flicking back to it.
So in terms of your criticism of its positioning in a bomb, you're not wrong. I will say that the next 3 episodes do feel a bit more important to the overall plot. Still not bomb necessarily quite bomb level, but I promise you that the bomb following this one immediately is much more of what you're probably thinking of when you imagine a Steven bomb.
Right. Okay.
And now, in terms of the episode
if
itself,
if you don't have good entrees, Dan, is it a good meal out?
Good question. Well, for me, I'll be honest with you. The sort of the soaps we watched yesterday with the Connie one, really enjoyed that episode. So that's one of 2, and this one, I'll be honest, is probably one of the more tolerable Ronaldo episodes, because at least in this one, it ends up being a bit funny. Whereas in other episodes, funny goes away completely and it becomes annoying. Like in this one, he's nowhere near as annoying as he was in Horror Club, and nowhere near as annoying as he was in what's the other one where they do that thing where he realizes the gems are responsible for everything, and Steven dresses up as a snake person.
Isn't it just called Keep Beach City Weird?
I think it is. You're absolutely right. It is just called It's just called Keep Beach City Weird. The one where he talks about the Sneeple, which is a good joke. I do like that joke. Instead of sheeple, they're Sneeple, snake people. It's very good. Anywho, I found him more irritating in those 2 episodes than this one, because I think they found maybe the best way to present Ronaldo is in a way that really doesn't treat him that seriously. It's a silly little YouTube thing he's doing. They set that out from the off. So you then subsequently, from my perspective, you're not in for a groundbreaking, gem fusion. Who's missing? Which fusion have we not seen yet? We've not seen Garnet and Pearl fuse, I think.
Pearl.
Yeah. So, it's as soon as you see it's a Ronaldo episode and he's doing a little YouTube video, you're not getting that fusion. You're not getting the return of Peridot, who's somewhere out there on Earth. You know what I mean? Nothing huge is happening in that episode. You know it from the minute it starts. So then you just sort of go, okay, well, what have they got? And you just sort of, for me anyway, you just sort of go along with this sort of silliness. And it was, for me, it was good enough for a few laughs. I didn't find him as irritating as I have done previously. And I'll be honest with you, it's a better version of the gems are responsible for this story than the one we got in Keep Beach City Weird. Because in Keep Beach City Weird...
Yeah, because he learned something, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in Keep Beach City Weird, he's like, in the end, he's just like, so it's not what I said, it's something else, and he invents some more, some more sort of gobbledygook. So I think what's interesting is that this one, they present it as, so he knows it's the gems that are responsible for stuff, but then there's the question raised of they're responsible for a lot of this. Is that and that is an interesting question, not perfectly executed here. There's probably more room to explore. In fact, I'm being a big reader of Spider-Man comics, which deal with that theme a lot, as do Batman ones actually. Does Batman bring all the crazies to Gotham? Is his existence perpetuating their existence, particularly people like the Joker? So there's a moral quandary there with the gems of, are they responsible. And while
But
it's not gone.
It's a moral quandary that is named as opposed to explored. And you can't give it credit for that when they don't do anything with that idea. They just mention and acknowledge that idea's existence, which isn't the same thing. And I
100% agree with you, but it's an interesting enough idea to make me like not completely flush the episode down the toilet. Is all I'm saying. Because on the whole, I'm with you. It's not. It's not really
how can you
worth
say that
your
when
time.
it's not explored? But the idea isn't explored.
Yeah, but having the idea out there, it's an interesting thought, whether it's explored or not, and it's enough to make me not.
They have a creature in the background. You can't go, well, it's got a cool creature, so it's not all bad. It doesn't. It's got to do something with the idea to justify it.
Yeah, that's why I think. That's why I think
said you would say this.
To be honest, it hadn't really occurred to me until you said it. So, but it's true. But what's interesting is that I think the issue here is the ending, in my opinion, because I feel like there was a real chance to have someone learn something here. And I feel like they like laid out a road to someone learning something and then fell off that road, rolled down the ditch and landed in some fucking shit. And it's like, how could you fall so hard from a path you laid out? It's a softball. It's such an easy thing to explore. All you have to do at the end is have one of the characters contemplate that and have their decision or their opinion shift as a result of what they've observed. So maybe have Ronaldo realize that. So maybe in the end, when that crab thing shows up, maybe after he tells the gems to go and they do, something attacks, and then the gems come back and save everyone.
I must admit, that's where I thought it was going. But how far do you go with that? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but at a certain point, though, the city needs them to keep themselves safe, and having a character learn that, but even quickly, would be more valuable than laying out the possibility of that question and then falling over, which I totally agree with.
But then I think your thread isn't as interesting and isn't dangled as nicely, because you can, if they go, they do go, which there's all sorts of out of character issues with that as well. But say they go and then something attacks, you can no longer as interestingly explore the do they bring the monsters or do the monsters bring them?
Yeah, because you're saying they come anyway at that point. You're verifying.
Because they'd come anyway. Yeah, you're giving clarification. I think it's more trusting the writers, as I do now. It's more interesting to go this way and not damage the potential of exploring that particular thread
that is
in
totally
the future.
Fair. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
So with only 7 minutes left, I want to ask: I think I've asked this before, but are people going to be listening to this going, why do these two hate Ronaldo? Like, this is unfair. Like, are we alone or?
No, we're not alone. That's for sure. Ronaldo is a divisive character, to say the least. And there's an episode in a later season called Rocknaldo, which is become infamous. It has become the cat fingers of Steven Universe fandom in the context of this podcast. Obviously,
today of all days is not the day to name it. Okay?
No, but in the sense that
I'm already tense.
Chris, you want to keep this tight. I'm trying to keep it tight. I think that in this case, like I think that he is disliked. And I can't put my finger on what the problem is, other than just that the character ends up... He's intended to be amusing, but he ends up coming across annoying. And I don't know what there isn't a fix to that. That's just how the character comes across. And I don't know how you could ever do what they did. For example, with Lars, you look at how Lars shifted over those first couple episodes when you went from being a bit of a jerk, but you didn't really have much of an opinion on him either way, to being actually quite a relatable character. I suppose the question is it possible to do something like that with a Ronaldo, to make him relatable, to make him empathetic in some way? As of today, no is the answer. But, you know, is it outside of the capabilities of these writers? Don't think so. No. They've achieved better. Yeah. They've achieved harder. I wouldn't have said half the stuff they've done would have worked, and it has. So, you know, maybe
I'm not dismissing Ronaldo. But at the moment, Like, it just, I feel no sense of excitement knowing it's a Ronaldo episode.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And this is so clearly a Ronaldo episode, and it's not only a Ronaldo episode; it's an episode that does something different in a not overly interesting way.
I did like
give
the
us
format.
more.
I
I
did...
like the format, but less interviews, more stuff we've already seen from alternative angles.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, because I kind of liked it being a bit like one of those sort of like investigative documentaries you get occasionally, where it's like the guy like I knew there was more to uncover, like all those sort of like, there was just something very sort of amusing about the whole premise. And I think that's one of the other reasons this episode is a lot more tolerable than other Ronaldo episodes. They at least formatted it in an interesting way to keep me from scratching my own eyes out. And they got a lot of good gags out of it as well. They
got there were some strong gags.
Like, like when he's like outside Stephen the Gems, like the temple, and he's just like shouting because he's not mic'd from that distance.
Yeah, and then you just see the dude running, and
my favorite one was actually when he's like the elusive and mysterious crystal gems, and then Stephen like opens the door and is just there. He's like, "Hey, do you want to come in and have some lemonade?" And then his tag is like Stephen, what is it? It says something like, hospitable host or something like that. Like, it's...
And the mayor, when he's like, cover up? What cover up? Get out of here! Yeah.
So they use the format to get a good amount of gags. And I think that...
Yeah.
And I think that, that is the reason I say that of the Steven Universe Ronaldo episodes, this is one of the more tolerable ones. For that reason alone. There you go.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that being the case. So we got so the mystery, the question mark. I'm predicting a spaceship shaped like a question mark.
I thought you were going to say a spaceship shaped like a foot because we had a hand last time. I really thought I thought you were just going to start listing body parts.
That'd be amazing. Do we have to? Are we giving a second fan art shout out on this and Nothing But Static, or
no? Just this. There's no point in doing it on Nothing But Static, I don't think. But
what? Of course we're doing it on Nothing But Static. I'm doing it.
All right. Okay. Apparently we're doing that. But yeah, we got. I mean, we haven't even the episode where we said, "Hey, my girlfriend would like more fan art," hasn't even gone up, and we've had someone else. Send in some fantastic fan art. His name is Juan, I think. I'm hoping I pronounced that right. He's from Colombia, the country, not the university. I've been instructed to clarify because apparently that's confusing, according to someone I sent it to. You can have a look at the. We'll put the artwork up now on the video, so you're looking at it. That's great. And it's me and Chris again from the banner. He's even got the chairs right, which is awesome.
It's awesome. The attention to detail, the fact, let's just say it, the fact that he has significantly slimmed us both down is wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. I've never been that skinny.
I sent it to my family group. My cousin said, "Wow, he slimmed you down." Just referring to me. No, he wasn't shitting on Dan as well. And I sent it to a mates group, and he responded, "Wow, the imagination on these guys is strong."
Yeah, look, they've imagined you handsome.
Yeah, I know, right?
But if you want to have a look at anything else of this particular artist on Tumblr, I'll just spell it out because if I try to pronounce it, well, it's Juan Fernandova, but I'm going to spell it because I'm never going to do that.
Spell it out.
JUANFERNANDOVA.tumblr.com for more artwork from Juan, who's very good.
We are
on Twitter. I believe he's on Twitter at JUJUCHOR. I'm not going to try and pronounce whatever that is.
We are. Thank you so much, dude. That's awesome, and we are bowled over to the point of not being able to quite believe people would spend their time drawing us. It's incomprehensible. So thank you so much. And that is we're at 20 minutes. That's an honourable last thing for me to say. Thank you very much.
I think Chris might have turned his mic off. I don't know for sure. Yeah, Chris is gone. So that's everything for this week. I've been Dan Doolan.
I've been Chris Billingham.
Oh, he's there. Okay. No, it's okay, Chris. You're back. It's fine. What happened? And of course, we'll speak to you guys next week or next episode tomorrow as we discuss keeping it together.